Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report, where every day we bring you the hottest and most exciting updates about our Detroit Lions. Today, Lions fans, we have a developing story that could change the future of our defense in a massive way. Rumors are gaining serious traction, and it's all centered around one name that should absolutely be on your radar: Nick Emmanori. The star safety from South Carolina could soon be heading to Detroit if everything that's being whispered behind closed doors ends up materializing. And honestly, the more you think about it, the more it feels like this is not just a random rumor. This feels like a strategic move by Brad Holmes, one that could completely transform our secondary and put us on an even stronger trajectory towards Super Bowl contention. Nick Emmanori is not your average safety prospect. From the moment he stepped onto the field at South Carolina, you could tell there was something different about him. Standing at 6 feet 3 inches and weighing in at 220 pounds, Emmanori is a rare combination of size, speed, athleticism, and sheer football IQ. Clocking an insane 4.38 in the 40-yard dash, he's not just fast, he's explosive. He covers ground like a cornerback, but hits like a linebacker. This is the kind of player you dream about adding to your roster if you're trying to build a defense that can dominate for the next decade. And let's be honest, Detroit's secondary, while already very good with players like Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, still could use another versatile, elite playmaker. Injuries happen. Fatigue sets in late in the season. Teams that go deep into the playoffs don't just have good starters. They have depth, they have rotation options, they have matchup weapons. And that's exactly what Nick Emmanori would be. He's not just a safety, he's a chess piece. You could line him up deep in coverage one play, have him in the box destroying a running back on the next, and then send him screaming off the edge on a disguised blitz the play after that. This kind of versatility is exactly what Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn salivate over when they talk about building a complete defense. Now, according to multiple reports, the Lions have been doing more than just the usual homework on Emmanori. We're talking about multiple in-person visits, heavy scouting presence at his pro day, and what insiders are calling serious exploratory conversations regarding how the Lions could maneuver themselves into a position to draft him. And while Brad Holmes has always been a general manager who keeps his cards close to his chest, the signs are there if you're paying attention. Detroit isn't just window shopping here. They're lining up their options, weighing the costs, and very possibly preparing to make a move that would shock a lot of people on draft night. Imagine the possibilities. A defense featuring Kirby Joseph's ball-hawking instincts, Brian Branch's versatility, and Nick Emmanori's athletic dominance would instantly be one of the most dynamic, flexible secondaries in the league. It would allow Aaron Glenn to unleash a level of creativity we haven't seen yet. 3 safety looks could become the new base formation. Opposing offenses would have no idea where the coverage was coming from or which defender was about to flip the game on its head with a momentum-changing play. Third downs? They become a nightmare for quarterbacks. Red zone situations? Forget about it. The Lions would finally have the kind of defensive firepower that wins championships. And let's not forget, Brad Holmes has already shown he's willing to be aggressive when the right player is on the board. Remember last year? Trading up for Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell wasn't on anyone's radar either, but Holmes trusted his board and went and got his guys. He's not playing by the traditional rules, and Lions fans should be thrilled about that. If Holmes believes Emmanori is a future All-Pro in the making, and everything we're hearing suggests he might, there's absolutely no reason to think he won't be willing to make a move to secure him. The question then becomes, what would it cost? Moving up in the draft is never cheap. It might mean giving up a second-round pick this year or next. It could mean swapping picks and maybe tossing in an extra 4th or 5th. But honestly, if you believe a player is a foundational piece for your defense for the next 8 to 10 years, who cares about an extra pick? If Emmanori turns out to be the player many scouts believe he can be, this would be looked back on as a genius move, the kind of move that gets remembered in Detroit forever. Another point that's worth mentioning is how perfectly Nick Emmanori fits the Lions culture. You hear Dan Campbell talk all the time about wanting players who are tough, gritty, smart, and team first. Emmanori checks every single box. Coaches at South Carolina rave about his work ethic, his attitude, his willingness to do whatever the team needed. Whether it was playing hurt, switching roles mid-game, or taking younger players under his wing, Emmanori showed leadership qualities that NFL teams covet. This isn't just a kid who's good at football. This is a young man who is serious about his craft, who loves the game, and who will put in the work day after day to get better. From a scheme standpoint, it's almost eerie how well he would fit into Detroit's current defensive vision. With Aaron Glenn loving to mix coverages, disguise blitzes, and create confusion for opposing offenses, a player like Emmanori gives you so much more flexibility. You can't just assume he's dropping into a deep zone or manning up on a tight end. He could be coming downhill in run support. He could be crashing off the edge. He could even be used in the slot in certain packages. His range, his instincts, his physicality, all of it makes him a dream fit. There's also the longevity factor. Kirby Joseph, despite being an absolute stud, is approaching his next contract negotiation. Brian Branch is still on his rookie deal, but thinking 2 and 3 years ahead is how smart franchises stay competitive long-term. By bringing in Emmanori now, the Lions would not only have elite depth, but they would also protect themselves against future salary cap issues and possible injuries. It's about building not just for 2025, but for 2026, 2027, and beyond. And think about what this would signal to the rest of the league. Making a bold move for a player like Emmanori would send a message. Detroit isn't satisfied with just making the playoffs. Detroit is coming for it all. They're building a team that isn't just good. They're building a team that's built to last, that's built to win consistently, and that's built to dominate on both sides of the ball. It's still early, and obviously nothing is official yet. But the signs are there. The Lions are doing their due diligence. Conversations are happening. The excitement is growing. And Lions fans should absolutely be paying attention to how this develops over the next few days and weeks. Because if the stars align, and if Brad Holmes decides to pull the trigger, we could be welcoming Nick Emmanori to Detroit sooner than anyone expected. And if that happens, buckle up, because Ford Field is about to get a whole lot louder, and the Lions are about to get a whole lot scarier. Let me know in the comments. Would you be excited to see Nick Emmanori in a Lions jersey? Do you think he's the missing piece that could turn Detroit's defense into the best unit in the league? Or would you rather see Holmes stay put and trust the current core? Whatever happens, one thing's for sure, it's a great time to be a Lions fan. Thanks for hanging out with us today, here on Lions News Fan Report. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another massive update about your Detroit Lions. We've got a huge season ahead, and trust me, you won't want to miss a second of it. Go Lions!